Everyone, please rise. We'll be led in prayer by Alderman Wilson.
Almighty God, we ask for your blessing upon the members of this council as we assemble here in this chamber to conduct the ongoing business of our city. With your guidance, we will strive to ensure that our decisions are for the common good, and for your inspiration will instill respect, compassion, and thoughtfulness in our deliberations. Give us the strength and the wisdom to lead by example as the people's representatives, and that peace and harmony will mark all our proceedings and keep us faithful to the trust placed in us by the citizens of your community. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Alderman DeLucia, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. We have a proclamation about Women's History Month, and I would yield the floor to Alderwoman Gould.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas in 1987, after being petitioned by the National Women's History Project, Congress passed Public Law 100-9, which designated the month of March 1987 as Women's History Month. And whereas the 2020 Women's History Month theme is Valiant Women of the Vote, honoring the brave women who fought to win suffrage rights for women and for the women who continue to fight for the voting rights of others. And whereas the women's movement grew and evolved into national organizations with a focus on women's suffrage, universal temperance, improved educational and career opportunities for women, and equality under the law. And whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major social change movement, and whereas Norwich women have been in the forefront of this nation's evolving political and cultural changes, and in 1938, the Connecticut League of Women Voters recognized Annie Huntington Brewer and Mary Jane Rogers, both native Norwich suffragettes, for their significant national contribution to women's suffrage and gaining the right to vote. Now, therefore, Mayor Peter Albert Nystrom and Norwich City Council President Pro Tem Mark Betancourt, on behalf of the Norwich City Council and the citizens of the City of Norwich, do hereby proclaim the month of March as Women's History Month in the City of Norwich, and encourage all of our citizens to observe with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Dated the 16th day of March, 2020.
Thank you very much. I thought it was certainly appropriate that we acknowledge what the rest of our nation has. And I would invite any council member who wants to comment on the resolution to do so. Okay, thank you.
Citizen comment general.
Okay, I declare citizen comment general open, and the first person signed up is Mr. Marvin Cerruto.
Marvin Cerruto, 100 Star Street, Norwich, Connecticut, United States of America. I hope and pray that you are all well and stay well. And first comment is on the Franklin Square Rotary. I was happy to attend that hearing. Just wanted to say that I would like to encourage you all to pursue with that. There was also a little addition to that. Somebody had a suggestion, might be something to look into, where Broadway is one way towards City Hall, and then could afford us some diagonal parking and increased spaces. Something to think about. Right now, and I wish and hope for the best for our Department of Education, because it appears as though they will be going through some of the most trauma with our virus crisis. But this gives us a great opportunity. School's changed quite a bit since I went to school. It also changed quite a bit since I taught school. The virtual situation we have, the situation with learning at home, with the advancement with computer science and how it is advancing at astronomical rates. All of those types of items, I hope that we here in Norwich lead the charge and take advantage of some of the technology that's available. I remember when you used to get your car worked on and there was a machine about the size of a refrigerator analyze your car. Now that machine can fit on your iPhone. So this is a great opportunity for us to really meet the test, see if our students can meet the test. There's many ways to verify if they can qualify for this type of education. This would be an effort to maintain costs down and increase efficiency in education and learning. Remember, I went to Kelly Junior High School, 7th and 8th grade, double sessions, 7 to 12, 12 to 5. Everybody thought it wouldn't work. I graduated with a lot of doctors, attorneys, accountants, engineers. We did just fine. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Zakia Wright?
Zakia Wright, 2350 Gold Star Highway, Mystic, Connecticut. I'd just like to ask the council, from your recollection and history, how often do local authorities accompany or are invited to council meetings? Anybody can answer.
We listen, we do not respond
Oh, okay.
during this portion.
Okay, I was told that, but I thought maybe with that one there would be an exception, but I guess there are no exceptions, that's fine. Just don't see why local authorities weren't at the last meeting, but they're at this one when there's been some events that have happened since the last time I spoke. Specifically, I will address the fact that the last time I spoke, I mentioned that the community did not, well, let me just go from here. The NCDC Foundry 66 punished me for speaking out about the attitudes and resistance of the local community with me opening up my jewelry store, my music store, which I was talking to the mayor in regards to becoming a nonprofit. It's a very arduous process. It's like 100 hours worth of work you have to put into becoming a nonprofit. And before I applied for any things moving my LLC from one state to another, I wanted to talk to the mayor. I thought it would be helpful to be sustained in the community by talking to the mayor, and it really backfired in my face because the very next day, the board member Jill French, if I'm pronouncing her last name correct, Jill French at Foundry sought to humiliate, embarrass, discredit, overtly ostracize and antagonize, and by her comments about how the city hall or city council called her the very next day, complaining about my trade name and or my trade name not being filed, and other things. Well, so let me get to the point where last Wednesday, on March 11th, Robert Mills, the president of Foundry 66, and Jason Vincent both involved themselves in notifying local authorities to tell me that I'm trespassing at Foundry. So I no longer can get all of my belongings, all of my items, all of my things that I own, probably a value of about $3,000, because it includes other people's things that were in there. The building downstairs has been known to be infested with mold, and so if they put my things down there, I would like to have the city get involved, because that's not fair for my things to be contaminated with any mold. I have goods in there, honey, raw honey that's from a local artist or a local community member. So my point is to say is that Robert Mills was unhelpful. He actually filed a trespass with the police at Foundry 66. So I will conclude. It's just very, very ironic also that the police are here too. Very disturbing. Hope the mayor can meet with me and we can resolve this, and hope that I don't have to be disregarded for the things that are at Foundry. There's classes there, business classes, there's an NAACP there, there's grant funding,
Please summarize.
and an office there that's available for people. There's a gentleman there that's mentoring me. Lots of activities going on Foundry to be disregarded there just for asking for my things.
You need to summarize. Each person
Summarize.
is provided 3 minutes. You're
So
well over that.
to summarize, I just would like to meet with anyone who's willing to help and to assist, because now this is caused me financial distress, and it has made things worse. Mike over at Surplus Unlimited was the only one who reached out and tried to help. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to talk to the mayor about is I would like for you to please add the YMCA as a committee and pertinent meetings, procedures, and policies to the next council meeting for resolutions, because I will take it upon myself to do everything I can for the youth of the community. I didn't just come here to open a business and to, take. I am trying to give back, so it would be great to open that up, because I know that Leanne Gomes tried to get it done. It seems like there's a lot of resistance, and I won't take no for an answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak on citizen comment general? Please.
Beryl Fishbone, 19 Bliss Place. The Mohegan Park Improvement Development Advisory Committee is happy to still be able to participate in National Good Deeds Day on Sunday, March 29th, 2020, by extending an invitation to everyone to enjoy the fresh air and sunshine of Mohegan Park and all of the other green parks of Norwich. We are very grateful to our early residents for their recognition of the value of greens, parks, and parades throughout every community within our city. Whenever possible, the MPI-DAC has listed our events on national events calendars, with the happy result of the Connecticut Forest and Park Association picking up 2 of our events for their event booklet. They will be helping us to promote the 5 trail freshening to be held on National Trails Day, June 6th. From 10 to 2, we're asking trail walkers to pick up any loose trash they see and place it in the park trash cans. Trash bags will be available at Park Center. We are also requesting that the walkers report any holes, tripping hazards, and low limbs that may be found along the trail. The CFPA has also requested information for publicity purposes of our National Public Lands Day walk on Saturday, September 26, 2020, from 10 a.m. to noon along the Green Trail. There are no fees to be included in the CFPA booklet, with a printing of about 20,000 with distribution to city halls and libraries throughout Connecticut. Hope you'll all be joining us then too. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else under citizen comment general? Anyone else under citizen comment general? Third and final time. Seeing no one else, I declare it closed, and thank you all.
Public hearing, number 1, an ordinance amending Article 6 of the Charter 21 of the Norwich Code of Ordinance by adding sections 21-135, 21-136, and 21-137 relative to the extension of a water main and other improvements to service properties in the city of Norwich, including but not limited to properties within the Countryside Drive Association, and provisions for laying of assessments, entered into written agreements regarding such improvement, and the payments, collections, and assessment of liens regarding the same.
I declare this a public hearing open, and I invite anyone who's here to speak in favor of this proposed ordinance. Again, 3 minutes, and name and address for the record. Anyone here in favor of this ordinance? Is anyone here in favor of this ordinance? Is anyone here in favor of this ordinance? Is anyone here in opposition to this ordinance? Anyone in opposition? Third, final time. Anyone in opposition to this ordinance? Seeing no one else, then I declare this hearing closed.
Second reading in action. An ordinance amending Article 6 of Chapter 21 of the Norwich Code of Ordinances by adding Section 21-135, 21-136, and 21-137 relative to the extension of a water main and other such improvements to service properties in the city of Norwich, including but not limited to properties within the Countryside Drive Association, and provisions for the laying of assessments, entering into written agreements regarding such improvements, and the payments, collections, and assessment of liens regarding the same.
Thank you. Entertain a motion, please, to bring this ordinance before us. Alderman Wilson, Alderwoman Miles. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, we'll have the vote then. We'll go. Roll call, yeah.
Alderman DeLucia?
Yes.
Alderwoman Miles?
Yes.
Alderman Wilson?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Bettencourt?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes.
Vote is 7-0.
Motion carries 7-0. It is approved.
Petition and communication, letter of resignation of Joanne Morello Martin from the Uncas Health District.
Motion, please, to bring this forward. President Pro Tem Bettencourt, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Yes, Alderman Wilson.
Just want to thank Joanne Morello Martin for all of her time serving on the Uncas Health Board, as well as many of the other boards and commissions she's served on in the city over the years. Her knowledge and level of volunteerism here in the city is appreciated and well thought of, and we wish her the best.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor accepting? Thank you. It's unanimous. Vote 7-0.
City Manager's report.
Thank you. This is the city manager's report for March 16th, 2020. I attended the coronavirus, also known as the COVID-19 meeting, which was organized by Patrick McCormick, director of the Uncas Health District, with local municipal CEOs, school superintendents, and local emergency management directors. I have been meeting with Uncas Health, police, and fire chiefs and department heads regarding the pandemic virus, and participated in the Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security Region 4 Regional Emergency Support Plan, which will be held on a weekly basis. The city is following the Center for Disease Control and Uncas Health recommendations, and we are taking extra steps to clean and disinfect the public areas in City Hall, and we will keep staff informed as we deal with the virus, which is a continuing, evolving situation. As an aside, I don't have it in my report, but I want to thank our building maintainers. They're working extra hours in the evening for deep cleaning, and during the day cleaning surfaces that the employees and citizens are touching when they come into City Hall. The Rose City Senior Center is closed to the public, and recreation programs will be postponed until further notice. Another aside is that we have been offering Meals on Wheels to any participant of the daily lunch program, as long as we have the volunteers for the Meals on Wheels program. Right now, that is working pretty well. City Hall will be closed to the public effective March 17th, 2020. We encourage online mail and phone payments where applicable. The city clerk's office will take appointments over the phone at her number. We are also doing that for building permits, other items in the Human Services Department, and where it's applicable. So we won't be having the public having access to the City Hall on an unlimited basis, but we're taking measured approaches to both limit the crowds and limit the exposure for our city employees. This is an evolving situation, as I said before. We are looking, and I did put a press release out today and some other items. We are looking to put our meetings on a situation where we can have meetings where citizens do not have to attend, but can view our meeting through the local cable access channel. We will be preparing a phone call-in situation for public comment, and for people that do not have access to the public channel, we will use the phones also for people who want to listen to the council meeting but don't have access. Again, these are evolving situations. We have a difficult road to hoe at this point. As you probably are aware, all restaurants will be closing in about 10 minutes. They will only be open to takeout and delivery. That's going to be a hardship on the employees at the restaurants. The tribal nation casinos will close their entire operation tomorrow, beginning at 8 p.m. Some people that are not full-time, I don't know the status of everybody, but I know there are layoffs going out for people that are employed, at least in some capacity at the casino. Since we have so many of our citizens that work at the casino, it's certainly going to be a hardship for the region. And we will act accordingly. I'll take some questions on that at the end of my summary on any virus questions that you might have. I attended the monthly public safety meeting, Connecticut Interlocal Risk Management, and Connecticut Conference of Municipalities, and the Board of Education Ad Hoc Committee meeting. The goal-setting meeting with the City Council that was scheduled for Thursday, March 19th, will be rescheduled to a later date. The public meeting scheduled for March 24th at the Yannick Firehouse for the rehabilitation of the Sunnyside Street Bridge is being reviewed at this time to better accommodate the public. Please feel free to call Public Works Department directly at the attached number for further information. The city's Community Development Office received 17 block grant applications for program year 46 totaling $1,313,000. The Community Development Advisory Committee will be meeting in April to finalize their recommendations for council. Program year 46 runs from September 1st, 2020 through August 31st, 2021. The anticipated amount from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is anticipated to be approximately $828,000. The 2020 Neighborhood Assistance Act program applications are available through the State of Connecticut Department of Revenue Services website. The City Manager's Office will be accepting neighborhood assistance applications until June 1st, 2020, with a public hearing scheduled for June 15th to ensure the applications can be submitted to the state before the July 1st deadline. On an interesting, pleasant note, the brass container that was returned to the City Manager's Office last month has been returned to its home in the glass case of Weights and Measures located on the 3rd floor. It was discovered that it was part of the Weights and Measures set, which is mentioned as a city charter in 1893, that was used by the city to regulate weights and measures for the United States Department of Commerce. I will take any questions on any item, but particularly on the city's reaction to the coronavirus.
Members have questions? Yes, Alderman Wilson.
So first, I want to say thank you to you, Mr. Solomon, the Superintendent of Schools, all of the City Hall staff, Public Works, for the work that's been done thus far in taking this matter serious. I have two questions, kind of that have arisen, is the state of cleaning the seat buses. We have quite a large population that still utilize that as a transportation mechanism, and knowing with the spread of the virus containing it, there have been questions about that piece.
We have a virtual seat meeting on Wednesday. I'm on the board. I will give that due thought and question the director on that day. In fact, I might even call him, not wait for Wednesday's meeting, to call tomorrow to get a status of that. I think it's a very good question.
Thank you. And just kind of a follow-up to that would be mentioning just the constant cleaning of the transportation center as a whole, as there is a lot of in and out traffic in that area. So just wanting to make sure the parking garage and all of those things are taken care of as well.
Thank you, yes.
Other members, questions? Yes, Alderman DeLucia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have so much as a question as I do have a footnote to the second item in the city manager's report regarding the meeting of the City Council / Board of Education ad hoc committee. We had a very lively and what I felt was a productive meeting on Friday night. However, with the evolving situation with the COVID-19 virus, I'm not sure that we will be having our second meeting on this coming Friday, but I will make sure that the members get the responses to the questions that we submitted at the last meeting, and that communication within the confines of the law continues, so that every member of that committee is as informed as they can be about the Board of Education's budget.
Thank you.
Can I just add
Sir,
something?
John.
I did have a long conversation with the superintendent this evening before this meeting, and told her about, give her a heads up about questions that may come her way, and she was be glad to work hard on getting the answers to those.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Other members? Yes, President Pro Tem Mark Bettencourt.
First, I think for those of us that are or have been involved in the public safety field, all our police officers, corrections people, all our EMT and firemen, and those service providers, I think I get to really extend a huge thanks, because they're out there still, every day during this time, and are constantly being potentially, obviously, exposed. A lot of time it's the unknown that really kind of gets to you when you're in these circumstances. I think those people that have worked in those fields know that. So with that said, I'd like to thank the city manager. I think what we've been doing is really taking as proactive a role as we can to limit contact, protect our employees, but also to try to still still provide the public service. So I just did want to mention those two items. Thank you, John.
Thank you, sir. Any other concerns? Yes, Alderman Wilson.
The other piece, I think worth stating, Mr. Salamone has explained, many of our small businesses and bars and restaurants are going to be limited over the next few weeks to takeout and delivery. And I think, I think I speak for all of us here, as this continues and even after, I think we'll do our best as representatives of the city to support them maintaining and being successful here in the city of Norwich. This is a trying time, and I think we're navigating it as best as we can. The only other question I have is thinking ahead for Mr. Salamone, do you anticipate our budget hearings for departments and whatnot, that schedule changing, or is that still something that you're still working to figure out?
Well, we have a few weeks until we have to make a final decision. We are working on a virtual city meeting or town meeting and budget meeting where we can get participation but limit the actual contact during the meeting. So I'm moving towards that we would still have budget meetings and whatnot, unless Again, I give a big caveat that we have other resolutions from the governor's office limiting those. We do have some leeway in the statutory requirements of the budget deadlines. So if we have to make some adjustments under law, we have some flexibility now, including even with our charter, because it does supersede the charter for emergency purposes. It can do that. On another matter, the state has been declared a disaster area, and the city will be eligible for up to 75% reimbursement for costs that are accumulated to react to the coronavirus. So our extra cleaning, things like that, our overtime in that area, we think will be eligible for that situation. The seat buses, if they have to clean them much more extensively than they are, they would be eligible also. There will be, and if we get into a more robust virtual meeting situation, I believe that some additional technology would be eligible. So there's a lot of catching up to see what would be eligible, but it is good news that the federal government and the state are working towards giving us some relief. Also, the Small Business Association is going to be providing disaster relief on an expedited manner for low-interest loans to small businesses, up to $2 million in loans. There's no doubt that the restaurants, especially restaurants that serve beverages at their establishment, will take a big financial hit by just doing delivery. Some restaurants are geared towards delivery and takeout, others are not. So we'll have, it'll be a real challenge. I hope that we all can work together on that in the future to see what happens with that. I am very worried about the state of some of our restaurants. It's a difficult business to be in normal circumstances, and with this type of situation, it's going to be that much more difficult.
Just last thing
Go right ahead. You
I
have the
would
floor.
have, is I think we're doing a great job of continuously letting our families in this difficult time know what the schools are doing as far as providing lunches and breakfasts to make sure at least our students and families are taken care of during this difficult time. Again, you guys are doing an excellent job with the response, and we're here to do whatever we can lend a helping hand.
Thank you, Councilman.
Other questions? Yeah, Alderwoman Gould.
Well, I agree with all the sentiments here today, and while we're giving some shout-outs, I think we owe one to not only our staff here in City Hall, especially to Leon and the IT department, because some of our employees are going to be working from home. And by working from home, we have to have connections and secure connections to City Hall, and they've done a tremendous job making sure that those employees who can work from home are going to be able to work from home. And I appreciate his efforts, along with everybody else's efforts. I know that these are some difficult, trying times, and as long as we band together and work together, we will be able to get through this.
Thank you. I'll definitely pass that on to Leon.
Thank you. Other questions? I would just add in, the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce is working and coordinating with some of the small businesses and restaurants who will be serving takeout to help market what they're able to provide so that families are aware of the opportunity. And if you know of any restaurants that maybe not made that decision yet, maybe the efforts of the chamber assisting them will choose them to continue to do that. But I want people to be aware that the chamber's working with them right now as well. Thank you.
Citizen comment on resolutions.
I declare citizen comment on the resolutions open. And does anyone like to address the council? Again, 3 minutes, and state your name and address for the record. Anyone like to speak to the resolutions on the agenda? Third and final time. Anyone like to speak to the resolutions on the agenda? Seeing no one, thank you. Declare it closed.
Resolution number 1, relative to holding a public hearing on June 15, 2020, to review applications and receive comments relative to the Neighborhood Assistance Act.
Motion, please, to bring this resolution forward. Alderman Wilson, second by Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous, vote 7-0.
Number 2, relative to appointments to the Uncas Health District.
Motion, please, to bring it forward. Alderwoman Miles, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Yes, Alderman DeLucia.
I just have a question regarding these two appointments. Will this bring the Health District billet up to full staffing? Thank you.
Yes.
Is there further question? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous.
Number 3, relative to appointment to the Norwich Golf Course Authority.
Motion, please. Alderwoman Miles, second Alderman Wilson. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous, the vote is 7-0.
Number 4, relative to a reappointment to the Rehabilitation Review Committee.
Motion, please, to bring it forward. Alderman Nash, second by Alderman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous, vote is 7-0.
Number 5, relative to appointments to the School Building Committee 2020.
Motion, please, to bring this forward. Alderwoman Miles, second by Alderman Wilson. Is there discussion? Yes, Alderman Gould.
I'd like to make a motion that we amend the resolution and remove the name of Susan Blinderman under the public members being appointed to the School Building Committee 2020.
Is there a second? Alderwoman Miles. Is there discussion? Yes.
Just that this is by her request.
Okay.
She would like another person appointed. We've interviewed other candidates. I think they will fit just fine in here,
Okay.
and we'll replace them at a later date.
Thank you. On the motion, all those in favor?
Oh, wait, not done yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. More discussion. I apologize. Go ahead.
I motion to amend the resolution to remove the name of Alderman Darrell Wilson and substitute the name of Alderman Joseph DeLucia.
We didn't vote on the first motion.
Oh, we didn't vote on the
No.
Oh, okay.
That's
I'm
why I
sorry.
asked for the
Oh,
vote.
my apologies.
That's all
I'm a
right.
stickler, too.
Well, yeah. The first motion that was put before us was at the request of the applicant, Susan Blinderman. All those in favor of that motion, please, to amend and remove her name. Thank you. That is unanimous, 7-0. Is there another motion?
Let's try this now. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I'd motion to remove the name of Darrell Wilson and substitute the name of Alderman Joseph DeLucia.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Alderman Wilson. Thank you. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That is unanimous. On the resolution as amended before us, is there further discussion? Yes, Alderman Wilson.
Just the only piece that I have, and I said it before as we were creating this process, is my hope is as this committee does its work to come up with the plan for the school buildings, we do our part to make sure that we are engaging stakeholders from all areas to make the right decisions. We want this to be the best product, but also hit a home run as far as getting this done the first time.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous, 7-0, as amended.
Number 6, relative to an appointment to the Public Parking Commission.
Motion, please, to bring it forward. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous, vote is 7-0.
Number 7, relative to authorizing the city manager to solicit a request for proposal for vehicle identification.
Motion, please, to bring this forward. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Miles. Is there discussion? Yes, Alderman Gould.
I will be voting against this resolution. The City of Norwich Code of Ordinances, Chapter 7, Section 15, specifically addresses city vehicle markings, whether it be lettering or a decal of the city seal. The city manager is perfectly capable of working with our fire departments on an administrative level to implement the ordinance that is already in place. I am positive that Mr. Salamone doesn't need a directive to work with other stakeholders on the color, font, or size of the lettering or decal when it has already been spelled out in our current ordinance. This resolution has nothing to do with public safety. Lettering and or decals don't make fire trucks respond any faster to emergencies, nor do they extinguish fires more efficiently. At the least, this resolution should have been taken up at the Public Safety Committee meeting, of which the sponsors are members. As an agenda item, it would have had public comment and discussion by the fire chiefs that are impacted.
Thank you. Pro Tem Bettencourt, please.
I'd motion to refer this resolution to public safety.
Is there a second? Second by Alderman Gould. Is there discussion on the motion to refer? Yes, Alderman DeLucia.
I agree. On the one hand, I agree that this should be reviewed by the Public Safety Committee. However, I'm hesitant to support the motion only because the 3 members of the Public Safety Committee, as it currently stands, are the sponsors of this resolution. So I think that, and just in that way, the Public Safety Committee has spoken. However, more importantly, I agree with Alderwoman Gould that the city manager is perfectly capable of administratively managing this. However, if that were completely true in terms of the receptiveness to his management on this issue, then we would not be taking this up at all because we wouldn't have a fleet of trucks or a segment of our fleet of fire trucks that do not say the City of Norwich on them anywhere. The bottom line is, whether it be fire apparatus or public utilities vehicles or public works vehicles, the bottom line is that they are all owned by the citizens of the City of Norwich and controlled by this council, not by individual department heads and not by individual chiefs of departments. So it is unfortunate that we have to go to this length to make the ordinances be complied with. But here we are, and so be it. If this is what we need to do to demonstrate that the citizens of the City of Norwich are due their appreciation for what they provide to us, then this is what we'll do. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on the motion to refer? Yes, Alderman Nash.
I would also like to echo Alderman DeLucia's comments, as well as understand Alderwoman Gould. And again, it's correct. If we only could use the city manager to do what needs to be done, we wouldn't be sitting here with this, but this is why we are sitting here with this. Now, I want to say this. Seems like the absolute most trivial thing a council could be taking up as to whether or not Norwich or the city of Norwich is on a truck that belongs to the fire department. You are absolutely correct, everybody. It is absolutely trivial. It is completely ridiculous that 7 members of a council have to sit here and discuss whether or not Norwich appears on a fire truck or any other vehicle in the city of Norwich. But it is also trivial that it is being discussed because of its, let's say, unwelcomed request. I have some emails. I could certainly share them with the member of the council expressing some dissatisfaction with putting Norwich on a fire truck. And there was some alterations designed or some other different way that they wanted to do it, but again, it didn't reflect the way that all the other trucks have it in the city. And I'm specifically talking about fire departments here, not talking about Public Works, because if we do remember last year, council members who sat here, I caught quite a bit of flack for having City of Norwich put on a Public Works truck that was driven by a supervisor within our city who objected greatly to the fact of having Norwich on his city-provided vehicle. And I took great criticism for that, and I guess I'll take great criticism for this as well. But the fire trucks, the police vehicles, the public works vehicles, they are owned by the citizens of the city of Norwich. They all bear responsibility for the purchase of the trucks, and whether it says City of Norwich or Norwich doesn't matter to me, as long as it says Norwich. And each little village has their own little stickers on their trucks to represent the pride that they have in their village, which I completely support because they're hundreds of years old and deserve to be recognized. But I also think the greater city of Norwich should also be recognized. So that's where I'm at on this. So I will be supporting this resolution, whether it's referred to public safety or whether we take it up here tonight. And I do apologize if I've offended anybody who's involved in this. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further comment on the motion to refer? Alderwoman Gould.
The taxpayers in the city of Norwich are certainly well aware that the city of Norwich owns and maintains our fire apparatus. I don't think there's anyone here in the city of Norwich that thinks that one of the fire departments had a boot drive to raise funds to buy a $600,000 or more fire truck. We're trying to micromanage the city manager, and if he can't get this done, then I want to hear it from John Salamone that he can't get this done. But we have an ordinance that says in section 17-15 that the vehicles can be marked City of Norwich and/or they can put on the city seal. Oval in shape, 10 inches high, 7 3/4 inches wide, containing lettering 3/4 of an inch high with our city seal, same as what's on the public works trucks now. This ordinance cannot supersede, this resolution cannot supersede an ordinance that we have already adopted. This superfluous resolution, and I'm going to urge you to vote against this. We have a great many more significant challenges facing the city of Norwich, especially in the wake of what's happening with the coronavirus, than to be piddling around with whether or not the truck says City of Norwich, Norwich, got the dancing lion on it. All of our trucks presently either have the dancing lion, it says Norwich, it says City of Norwich. Let's stop this petty nonsense. Let the city manager do his job, and if he can't get somebody to go along with our ordinance, then I want to hear from him, and we can deal with it then. But this is just ridiculous nonsense.
Thank you. The motion before us is a motion to refer to a subcommittee, not the entire full debate. Please continue your comments on the matter of referral. Is there further comment? Alderman Wilson.
So first, I'm definitely in support of referring it to the Public Safety Subcommittee. I mean, I think they've spoken, of course, as Mr. DeLucia has said, with all 3 of them being sponsors. However, I do understand the part of it being referred and allowing for individuals within that group to have some public comment and say on this resolution. But, you know, I think that the one part that for me is bothersome is whether referral or not, I think our job as council members is to give the city manager guidance and direction through the resolutions and ordinances that we pass. So to say that these things are petty and whatnot undermines what our subcommittees may feel as a ways of tightening processes here in the city. So, you know, I think referral is all well and fine. It's going to come back here one way or the other. But I think our due diligence, our job as aldermen and alderwomen in the city is to tighten processes, give the city manager guidance, direction, and directive on specific issues. And I think that's what the Public Safety Committee was doing here. So to undermine one of our subcommittees, colleagues that have come up with a consensus, it is, I don't think, the way to go. We're here to work amongst one another, and they've come to a consensus. Going back to the Public Safety Committee for comment is all well and fine, but understanding this is a way of tightening processes, whether it's fire trucks or any other equipment in the city. Let's at least give them the due diligence of the work that they've done to bring it forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Pro Tem Betcourt, please.
On the motion to refer that I made, obviously, I mean, I had some concerns. I mean, I went and looked at the ordinance in full, and I certainly have some questions. So I know I posed one to the council, waiting to hear back on. The issue for me here, though, is that I think the particular question is better resolved when the players, let's just say, can that are involved with the question can have a say. And under the current circumstances, that's best done at the Public Safety Committee meeting, and that's where I'd like to stay.
Thank you. Further discussion? Motion to refer, seeing none. All those in favor of the motion to refer? Those opposed to the motion to refer? The motion carries 5-2. The matter is referred.
Number 8, relative to the issuance and sale for the cost of general obligation refunding bonds.
Motion, please, to bring this forward. Alderman Miles, second Alderman Wilson. Is there discussion? City Manager, please.
This resolution would be something that we would pursue if the market conditions were desirable to do that. Now, we have a very a strange situation going on right now. Although the Fed fund rate is at 0.25%, usually the municipal bond market parallels to some extent the Fed rate. It has not this time, and actually bond interest costs have gone up inversely to what has happened. I believe it's because the flight to security, which is all going into treasuries, and even municipal bonds right now are less desirable than treasuries. So we would not be doing this at any moment at this point, but the market could change, and then we want to be ready to be able to take them to market if the market so avails itself for us.
Thank you, sir. Is there questions or other items the council might want to raise on this? It remains in effect, just for the record, until December 31st, 2020. If we took action tonight, I guess the city manager pointed out, we don't have to then seek the issue of the sale at this time. Yes.
I have no doubt that our esteemed comptroller would not go out and spend money on bonds that would cost us more money. So I have the utmost faith in him and our city manager that they'll take advantage of the opportunities as they present, as they are authorized to do.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, resolution? It's unanimous, vote is 7-0.
Number 9, relative to the sale of property at 58 Division Street.
I'm going to start at the gate asking for a motion to amend this resolution, and I have the items to be filled in, the blanks, for you. If I could.
Got to get it on the floor.
I got to get it on the floor. A motion, please. Alderman Wilson, second, Alderman Miles. Okay, it is now before us. I would accept a motion to amend the following. In paragraph 3, the sum of $31,500 is to be inserted. And then following in paragraph 4, the first blank, line 4, again, the sum of $31,500 to Melissa Ponder of 24 Bellevue Street in Willimantic, Connecticut.
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It's 32,000.
32 even? Oh,
I'm
Okay.
sorry. I made a mistake on both of them.
okay. Change that 31.5 to 32,000.
Both lines?
Both lines, yes, that's from our city clerk. And then in the last portion of that same last paragraph, just following and deliver a deed of conveyance to, again, it is Melissa Ponder of 24 Bellevue Street, Willimantic, Connecticut. What's up? Yeah. May I have a motion and a second, please? Yeah. Alderman Gould, second by Alderman Miles. Okay. On the motion to amend, is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That is unanimous, 7-0. On the resolution as amended, is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That is unanimous, 7-0.
Number 10, relative to the sale of property at 212 Prospect Street.
Entertain a motion, please, to bring this before us. Alderman Gould, second Alderman Wilson. I would now ask for a motion to amend.
This is going to be 15-6.
15-6. Okay. Good, you keep going up. A motion, please, so that I may amend the blank languages. Alderman Wilson, second Alderman Miles. That motion to amend would be in the third paragraph, the sum of $15,600. Paragraph 4, again, line 4, the same sum, $15,600. To the following person, I'm simply going to spell their name. I don't want to mispronounce it. Capital S-E-K-U-K. And the last name is L-A-L-G-G-O-Z. And that is of 238.5 South Poinsettia Place. And that is Los Angeles, California. Again, further down in line 6, the person's name who's purchasing, again, capital S-E-K-U-K, capital A-L-O-G-G-G-O-Z. Again, of Los Angeles, California. Please don't forget the other address, 238.5 South Poinsettia Place of Los Angeles, California. Any discussion on the amendment as offered? Seeing none, all those in favor on the amendment? It's unanimous, 7-0. On the resolution as now amended, is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That is unanimous, 7-0.
Number 11, relative to a lease extension with Outfront Media LLC.
A motion to bring this forward, please. Alderwoman Miles, second, Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Yes.
Just could I get a way of general explanation?
This involves the billboards down on the viaduct. It's going electronic, which will make it much more versatile and better for the operators well, but it also is an opportunity. Our comptroller was able to negotiate on behalf of the city a little more revenue at the same time. Is there further questions on Resolution 11? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous.
Number 12, relative to the conveyance of 18 Falls Avenue.
Motion, please, to bring this forward. Alderwoman Gould, second, Alderwoman Miles. Is there discussion? Your packets include the same description that's here on the bulletin board. If you want to look through it at all, this closes down an issue that has been before this council for a number of months and returns a property to the tax rolls. It's a good thing. Is there further discussion on, yes, Alderman?
No, I'm sorry.
No? Okay. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of the resolution? That's unanimous, 7-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
To adjourn by Gould, second by Nash. All those in favor of adjournment? We are adjourned. Thank you.